Yeah, you read the title right. I'm going to be in Shenmue 3. How's about that? Holy fuck, yes. I've been waiting to reveal this for quite a while. It's exciting. They finally sent out the backer surveys, and that's just to gather the information for your preference of perks and things like that from the Kickstarter. And yeah, so I'm going to be in Shenmue 3. Let me tell you all about how that came to be. Well, let's start at the start. E3 2015, Sony's conference. The pink petals start fluttering down. The music, the beautiful music. And Yu Suzuki walks out. And the Kickstarter is announced. Fan passion and pressure had made this occur, and now fan finance was going to be asked to make it actually a reality. Yeah. What a day. So exciting. I heard about that initially through Adam Korodick's video about it. I woke up to a notification, checked his new video, and I saw the title, and then I watched the video, and my god, the excitement was palpable. And I've watched that video a few times since, and other people's as well. It was a good day. Remember that day? That day. Do you remember that day? Little Shenmue joke for you there. Yeah. I didn't really think it was going to happen. You know, I got behind all the kind of efforts to pressure Sega into making a third game. That went on for years. But they just weren't going to do it. You know, they spent a hell of a lot of money on Shenmue, the original games, and I don't think they made their money back. I don't think they broke even on the Shenmue games. I'd be surprised if they did. It was Sega's most expensive game ever, and it was released on consoles that didn't really sell that well. On top of that, the game was kind of a hard sell anyway, you know, compared to a lot of the other games that were out back then. It was very, very different. It had this kind of slower pace to it. You know, it was kind of felt more kind of grown up in a way, when in a time when the vast majority of games were still aimed squarely at kids. And it just had this different feel to it, you know. Yeah, it was a hard sell, but for those who really delved into it and fell in love with it, you know, they'll tell you that it was pretty outstanding experience. You know, back then it blew your socks off. Back then when it came out, it was breaking new ground. You know, the graphics were really impressive. The scale of it, this open 3D world, this 3D open world, which really hadn't been done before. You know, people kind of really think of Grand Theft Auto 3 as the first open world 3D game, but it wasn't. It was Shenmue. And Shenmue 2 especially was even bigger in scope. And yeah, but it pushed the Dreamcast technology, and technologically it was really impressive. And it did things back then that games still don't do now. And I'm thinking primarily of a very realistic kind of time cycle. It had this really involved time cycle with a lot of depth to it. You know, every character had their own life story, and you could really track them through the game. If you wanted, you could see them leave their house, go to work, be at work through the day and come back at night, that kind of thing. It just had so much detail to this effort to make it feel like a living, breathing world. And that made it feel so immersive and so unique. And back then, again, right out the gate, pretty much the first open world 3D game, it was just something different, but it was a hard sell on platforms that hadn't sold well. So it didn't make its money, and Sega were twice bitten, twice shy. Something like that. And they weren't willing to fund a third Shenmue, so of course, you know, it came to the Kickstarter, and that's fine. That's fine. Obviously, there was enough passion there to make it happen, because it ended up being the highest grossing Kickstarter for any video game that's ever been through that site. And 7 million they're at now, just about. And it seems like, yeah, he's got enough to make a game that he's proud of. He still wanted more, because, you know, Yu Suzuki had a pretty epic vision for this game. And but I think he's pretty much got enough to make a game that he's proud of, to be in the Shenmue series. And it's going to be good. I have faith now. I was worried for a while. You know, they put out press releases periodically, and something recently put out, you know, Yu Suzuki was saying that he's had trouble working with Unreal Engine. The Unreal Engine had trouble working with you know, an existing pre-built engine. With Shenmue 1 and 2, they built their own, so they had more control over it. and he has said in the past that working with Unreal created some problems that he hadn't anticipated. And of course, it's got a huge delay. It was due to come out late this year. It's been pushed back to sometime next year. We don't know exactly when. Quite a hefty delay, but you know, possibly a hefty delay. Maybe it'll be January the 1st next year, but I doubt it. Yeah. So, but now that the backer surveys have gone out and they are collecting the information that they need from the people that pledged, I'm not quite so worried now. I think they're on track. And anyway, so yeah, I was feeling quite flush at the time of the Kickstarter, and I backed it twice. Once just for a sealed copy of the game to keep, and but my main pledge was quite a bit higher than that. I pledged £750 for that pledge. Yeah, that's about $1,200, give or take. Yeah, and for that money, so I was feeling quite flush at the time, and I had a bit of inheritance, and I pledged that amount. For that amount, I get quite a lot. There's a whole raft of goodies and merchandise that I'm going to get that I'll no doubt do a video about showing off when that's delivered. But that won't be till the game comes out, though, next year. But the main pledge, the main perk, rather, for that pledge level that I was at, was to be in the game. And I'm going to be in the game as a collectible toy. If you play the original Shenmues, you'll know that one of the things you can spend your money on that you earn in the game is little capsule toys, kind of like little Kinder eggs that you get out of those vending machines and stuff. Basically, yeah, there's going to be about 60. I think there's about 60 people that were eligible that could possibly have that level of pledge tier until they closed it, and I'm one of them. I'm going to be in it. I'm going to be in it as a little anime version of me. So you'll be able to collect Shenmue in Shenmue 3. You'll be able to collect me in Shenmue 3. Ridiculous. Yeah, it's working out a little bit different to how I envisaged it. I thought that they were going to ask me to send pictures of my entire body so I could do some kind of pose like that, but it's not that. It's just going to be my face. So you send in pictures of the front and the side of your face, and I guess they're going to convert that into an anime version and stick it on some pre-rendered body or something. But that's pretty fun. It's pretty exciting. Yeah, I thought it was going to be the full body length picture that they wanted, and in which case I was going to try and sneak some little political message in there, because I'm all about that. I was going to try and sneak my Corbyn t-shirt into it, but that's not going to happen. But that's okay. But I'm going to do something similar. It's probably better actually. One of the other perks that I got was to be able to write a little message in a guest book that's going to be in your, I guess, in your home in the world. And you get 140 characters, and I've just managed to squeeze a nice little quote into 140 characters. I had to edit it a little bit, but it's going to be Jeremy Corbyn's favourite quote, and it's about revolution, and it goes like this: "Rise like lions after slumber, in unvanquishable number. Shake your chains to earth like dew, which in sleep had fallen on you. Ye are many, they are few." That's a nice little quote there. It's from The Mask of Anarchy by Percy Shelley. Old poem about revolution, basically. So that's cool. Look out for that. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm so psyched. I'm so psyched. And also psyched for the re-releases as well. It's really cool to see Shenmue 1 and 2 coming out again. And that's really going to help, you know, Shenmue 3 have a chance of selling well. Because my ultimate, and this is going to sound greedy, but my ultimate aim for this, hopefully, my wish, my hope, my dreams, are that the re-releases and Shenmue 3 sell well enough that Shenmue's 4 and 5 can be self-funded. Because Yu Suzuki's on record as saying that Shenmue 3 will not be the end of it in terms of the story. He's not trying to squeeze the entire rest of the saga that he originally planned into Shenmue 3. And I'm so happy about that, because that might have ruined it, you know. He planned this huge saga. I think it was originally like 7 parts. But he said now that he could probably get it down to like 3, 4 and 5, ideally. So I'm really happy that he's not trying to squeeze the whole thing down to one final game. And yeah, it's got a chance of self-funding the further sequels. And of course, when they've made Shenmue 3, they're going to have a lot of assets to work with. You know, making those fourth and fifth games might not be as difficult if they've already got a whole game's worth of assets to kind of recycle and rejig. But it's cool to see those games re-released on the platforms that are more popular than the original consoles that they came out on, because that's one of the major problems that Shenmue had, and the reason it didn't make its money back. Of course, it was Sega's most expensive ever game, and it also came out on consoles that hadn't sold very well compared to the competitors. Of course, if that game had ended up coming out on the PlayStation 2, we might have seen Shenmue 3 sooner. If Sega had made enough money off of it, they might have been tempted to make a third one, but even that's not guaranteed, of course, because Sega as a company was kind of winding down a little bit. They'd obviously discontinued the Dreamcast and given away Peter Moore, stolen a lot of exclusives that were destined for Dreamcast, ended up coming out on the original Xbox, which didn't really affect me as a gamer. I still got to play them, but play them on the Xbox. But basically the point is Sega was winding down a little bit, so maybe they just weren't able or willing to make a Shenmue 3 at that time. But if these games sell well, they might be tempted to help fund, at least, if not develop themselves, to help fund at least Shenmue 4 and 5. Maybe they'll get on board and provide Yu Suzuki and what's his team called again? EaseNet, yeah. So maybe they'll be then motivated to help EaseNet fund further Shenmue games if the re-releases sell well. So yeah, and it's been the pre-orders have been doing really, really well for it. In fact, it's #1 pre-order on Amazon as we speak. So yeah, that's looking good. I don't think these games are going to blow people's socks off in the same way, of course, that they did back then. Of course, the graphics are going to look dated, and there's been so many epic sandbox 3D games. Now, it's not breaking new ground anymore, but I still think that it's unique enough and has enough charm that it will impress people, even though it's not going to be technologically impressive compared to what's out there now. I still think the flavour of the game is special enough that it will, people will fall in love with it. I do. And, I do know a lot of people that just never got around to them back in the day, and most of them don't own original Xboxes and Dreamcasts now to go back and play the originals. So it's good that it'll be far more accessible now, and we'll see how well it sells and what the reviews say about it and that kind of thing. It'll be fun. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling positive about it. I'm going to be in Shenmue 3! Oh my god! Right, that's it, guys. Definitely do some follow-ups on this, and if they send me a picture of the manga character that they're going to create of me, I'm going to get that tattooed. Oh yeah, it's happening. If I can get a nice print, a nice image of the anime character that they create of me, I'm getting that shit tattooed. You know it. Alright guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.